happening, guys? Chael Sonnen here, and you need to know when you're the greatest podcast in the world today, they got a name for you. They don't call you a great podcast. They call you the Gentleman Podcast. Beat that if you can.
Welcome, everybody, to the most up-and-coming podcast this side in the Western Hemisphere. Eddie, Brian, Pete, Gary, we are the Gentlemen.
This is the podcast.
Like always, before we start, remember to like, follow, and subscribe on all our social media platforms, whether it be the Gentlemen's platforms or our personal platforms. Get our thoughts about what's going on in the sports world. Today, we're going to listen. We've been gone for a little bit. We took a break to go watch our Pat Miletich interview, but today we're going to catch up on everything that we've missed in the last week and a half that's going on with sports. Your boys have been just taking care of a few things on the side, but I promise the rest of July, we got a lot of great content with sports coming back. July, sports is back this month, people. It's kicking off next week. Once the UFC July 11th card starts, it's just going to roll in there with basketball, baseball, NHL, and of course, UFC is going to be pumping out 4 cards in like 20-something days. We're going to be here to go through everything with you. So, Bri, let's start it off.
So this past weekend, we had UFC Fight Night at the Apex, main evented by Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker. We're going to get to that in a second because that deserves that deserves its own time. The co-main event, though, Mickey Gall and Mike Perry, that was an interesting fight. There's a lot going on. Listen, Mike Perry, he decided to stay away from his usual corner crew, and he only had his girlfriend in his corner this time around. Now, I mean, a lot of people were criticizing him for this. Obviously, it paid off. And
he won.
His reasoning for this was that, listen, when you're in a fight and you're trying to make money, the best motivation is going to be your significant other, the reason why you're in there doing what you're doing. And I get it. I completely get it. In terms of the actual fight, Perry looked good. Gall surprised me, though, with his striking. I wasn't expecting his striking to look that crisp. He definitely improved. But he was just outpowered in that fight. That's all it came down to.
It looked like they were in 2 different weight classes.
Yeah, they were pretty even on the feet, but when it got down to the ground, you saw the difference in strength. Mike Perry's, he's just a beast. He ended up getting the W. It was a very good fight, very interesting. I don't know if you guys have any comments on that fight.
Yeah, surprisingly, Perry out-grappled Gall, whose specialty is grappling. And but not to take anything away from Gall, his stand-up was greatly improved that fight. Yeah, he was going toe-to-toe with Perry the entire fight. But, like you said, the big difference was the strength factor. And Perry just was throwing Gall around and controlling the fight, and he came out with the win.
I said it while we were watching the fight. The 2 things that they were both weak at, they showed great improvement in it and looked good.
Yeah.
Gall with his striking and Perry with his grappling. The thing with Perry's grappling is Gall was still doing what he had to do, but Perry was so strong and he was just powering out of whatever Gall was doing. It's just it was a tough fight to watch for Gall because the striking did look so good, but Perry looked like a man against the kid.
And you gotta love Perry's post-fight interview calling out the IRS about taxes. I feel you, man. They take too many taxes from us.
They do.
We all feel it, man.
But Perry,
he's definitely a character.
Yeah, Perry now is looking at he wants to go train with a camp now. He wants to train with Yoel, and he wants Darren Till. Because Darren Till and him have been going back and forth. So
yeah, that's actually a pretty good internet beef going on right now. Till.
Yeah, that's a good internet beef, but I don't know. I mean, Till's
but didn't he call out Nate Diaz?
Yeah, but he called out. I mean, Nate Diaz is just a clickbait, but I mean, Till is the guy he wants. They've been going
There's
back.
bad blood in that fight.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants Till. Till's a different kind of beast for him, but that'd be an entertaining build-up for that fight.
Yeah, no, that would be great. The 2 of them going back and forth.
Yeah.
But moving on to the main event, listen, we all knew as soon as this fight was booked that we were going to get fireworks before the 4th of July, and this fight definitely delivered. I mean, talk about a 5-round war. I mean, I think Chael Sonnen, I think he said that the second round of that fight was the greatest round in MMA history, which is arguable. But, I mean, listen, what an insane fight. The heart and skill by both of these guys, Dan Hooker, Dustin Poirier. I mean, I had a feeling Dustin Poirier was going to win this fight going into it. Dan Hooker kind of scared me. There were a couple of times in that fight, man, where he hurt Poirier. And it could have gone either way, but Poirier stole the fight towards the later rounds. But wow, what a fight! I mean, so far I think that was the best fight of the year.
Well, it was the best male fight of the year.
I know he's saying it was
Joanna and Weili.
I know, but
That was a great fight too. So that was the best female fight of the year.
I guess
I'll give Joanna and Weili's edge. Just not taking away anything from that fight, just because that fifth round was so one-sided that there was no round really like that with the Joanna fight, and it was a championship fight.
I hear you with that. More so, I prefer that one a little bit due to the outcome, like the post-fight and just seeing her face all like
becoming an alien.
Oh my God, man!
But let's go back to this fight. It was lived up to everything we all thought and more. Poirier, I think his big fight experience, he just kept the pressure on. I mean, Hooker had a 5-round war with Felder, but Poirier's been in there with. If you look at the guys he fought, we spoke about it. It's just
So who's
the elite. So his experience really stepped up in there, and he kept putting it on. That fifth round, he showed championship experience. He's been a championship fighter. He showed it. And if you look at the pound for pound, he's fought them, so he knows that what it takes to fight those guys. And he poured it on there, and he's right in the mix now.
But now, what's next for him?
I said Conor. I said if Conor's going to come back, I think that's.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, I want to go over the fight a little more. I had a little bit of a feeling that Hooker might have a good chance for an upset this fight, but he had to do it early. And Hooker started the fight off really, really good. He won the first round, possibly even the second round. But Poirier, with the championship experience that you guys all talked about, he's been in 5-round wars. He's been in championship fights. And once that fight headed to the third round, the fourth round, I knew Poirier was going to win it because he's been there before and he's done it before. Hooker, he doesn't have that much experience with that. So that's all I have to say about that.
And I want to compliment the judge that gave Poirier a 10-8 round in that
round 5.
That I really want, because there should be more than 8 rounds in MMA. It would just help the scoring out. There's some fights that there's rounds that are 10-8s that aren't.
I agree 100% with that one, Gary.
I really want to compliment the judge on that. That was it was refreshing to see, because that was just dominant. He just
very random question. Very random question, and definitely off topic from this fight. But had Chael Sonnen versus Silva gone to the scorecard, obviously he would have won the fight. But do you think any of those rounds were 10-8s?
Yeah.
You think they had them scored as 10-8s?
I haven't watched that fight in many, many years, so I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
You see, it's funny. I watched the fight before the Chael interview just to relive it. And
like not in hindsight, do you think as they're sitting down watching the fight, just in case it goes 5 rounds, do you think they scored any of those rounds 10-8s?
Because what people forget about that fight? He dropped Anderson.
Multiple times.
Yeah. So he dropped him and it went on and just pounded him out. There was a couple of rounds where Anderson landed early and then Chael took him down, but I think one of the first couple rounds when he dropped him, it was definitely a 10-8 round.
Well, regardless, 10-8, 10-9, Chael would have wanted he would have won a decision.
No, yeah, I know. I'm just saying for playing devil's advocate, because Gary said there aren't enough 10-8s, and that's true. And if you go back to
but we're talking 10 years ago, man. Judging has evolved since then.
Yeah.
We still have some questionable calls, but it's definitely better now.
For better or for worse, I don't know. It's evolved.
That's to be determined.
Brian touched on something. What's next for Poirier?
Listen, anyone against Conor is.
I mean, he's beat everyone except for Khabib
and Conor.
This will be a big rematch. I mean, Conor totally embarrassed him the first go around. I will say Dustin's improved a lot since then.
And Dustin's
big time.
And Dustin's mental game improved, because that fight, that made him the fighter yesterday, because Conor got in his head. But I think Conor's end game is to fight Khabib when fans come back next year.
But Conor's retired, man. He's not going to want to fight Dustin.
But if he's going to come back, I think what's going to
be against Khabib.
If you take Conor out, I think Tony Ferguson and Dustin if Ferguson's healthy on the card for Khabib and Gaethje fight is going to be the way they do it, just to cover themselves. I think that's going to be.
I don't know, man.
Because who else are you going to give him?
I don't know if I would do Tony.
I think that's.
What about Tony and Hooker? They're both coming off of losses.
That'd be violent.
That would be a violent fight.
I love that division. That's always been my favorite division. That division is just fucking.
I think I like that fight better than Poirier and Ferguson.
Yeah.
I got to be honest.
Who does Poirier fight?
Yeah, is this guy gonna wait a year to fight? Like, it's tough.
Who knows?
You want to give him?
It's one of those situations. But let's not talk about Conor because, in the words of Dana White, he's retired. So why are we even talking about these guys?
You know what fight I really want to see?
What?
Gaethje Poirier again. I want to see them go again.
I know. I get it.
Gaethje has to fight Khabib first.
Khabib. Yeah. Before we move on, though, I want to talk about, because I just mentioned Dana White. He's made some controversial comments since we've last gotten together for a podcast. And he's referring to everything going on with fighters asking for higher pay. All these fighters, John Jones taking a leave of absence, giving the belt up, Masvidal, Conor retiring. All this stuff is going on. And I'm going to give you a quote right now, all right? We get into this money shit and stuff that's going on right now. Everybody acts like this is a fucking career. This isn't a career. This is not a career. This is an opportunity. I understand kind of where he's coming from, but I really disagree with him saying that it's not a career. You're telling that to guys who literally give
their entire lives to this
entire
sport,
lives, their livelihood. I mean, possibly even years off of their life, taking damage and stuff like this. You're telling them that it's not a career. They're putting all their time, their money, their blood, sweat, and tears into this. And if you look up the definition of the word career, an occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's life with opportunities for progress. That's literally what they're doing. They're giving up big portions of their life for money, bigger opportunities. I don't think he could be more wrong with what he said. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, a lot of fighters are giving him some pretty big backlash for those comments. And
he pressed a lot of buttons by saying that, though, man. Like,
it's definitely a career. Absolutely a career.
It's 100% a career. I don't know what the problem was, but like at the moment when he said what he said, but
you know what? It's not a traditional career. I get that. Obviously, you're not in an office or you're not out there doing construction, but it's a career. You're getting paid to do a job. It's a career.
Is football a career? Is baseball a career?
Yeah.
Is hockey a career?
Yes.
I think two things. It's a negotiation tactic. It's a tactic some way in his mind. I think if you put him on live detective, he doesn't believe that.
I think that these comments are going to come back to bite him in the ass one day, big time. I
don't think so. And I don't think so because it goes back to what Nate Diaz said. So with the Gilbert Burns thing, you guys run and take these fights. It's an opportunity. Gilbert Burns took an opportunity. This is what Nate Diaz was hinting at. They don't care about you guys. You'll give an opportunity, and it's proven Nate Diaz right. They took the opportunity, but Gilbert Burns saying, "I'm taking this opportunity. This is a big opportunity for me." That's what Dana White is saying. He's saying if these are opportunities he's given.
I disagree. Taking the opportunity for a fight is very different than saying the career as a whole is an opportunity to make money in the fight game. No, it's a career. It's not getting into mixed martial arts, becoming a professional fighter. It's called a professional fighter.
You're right.
It's a career.
But it's just that these guys that aren't taking them. Dana White said that because of these guys that are fighting over money.
I understand that.
So, but that's why these guys are fighting over money because it is their livelihood. It is their career. They want to better their financial standing. So that's why, like, when guys like Masvidal, I understand what they're saying because this is their life. And Masvidal, for example, has a chance to cash in on something. For his career, he's been doing it for 16 years. This is his race, his big promotion, if you want to put it in simpler terms. So that's why he's not fighting Usman and doing all that and leveraging himself because it is a career for him. And it is a business, so you have to think smart. You don't jump into these big fights unless you're going to get big paid money for them. So.
Yeah, not to mention that these guys are literally putting their lives on the line.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? You say you don't take those fights unless it's big. Tell that to Cerrone. How many times? What year was it that he fought 6 times in the year? And he's fighting guys like Alex Hernandez, the guy. He was an up and comer.
Yes,
he does it because that's his career.
Yeah, exactly. But if for these big fights, you don't know when you're ever gonna get a big payday like that. That's the thing. I want to.
Gary, don't defend Dana White.
I'm not defending. No, I'm defending Usman and these guys that hold out for money like John Jones. No, not John Jones really, because John Jones he's just enough. But Usman, Masvidal, I'm defending. Pat Miletich said something when we interviewed him, and I didn't get into it. I regret not getting into it when he said representation. John Jones and Masvidal are represented by the same brothers. I can't say his last name. Melky and this Kawhi. I can't say his last name. Brian, you might know their last name.
I'm not sure.
They're represented by the same brothers. So they're like coincide with each other. So it kind of is interesting to see that they're taking the same plays around the same time. But
we could ask Pat about it next time he comes on.
Yeah, so he made that comment. He made a good representation. He made it clicked in my head at the time. I regret not asking him that and to follow up on that and talk about that a little bit more. But Dana White, that was a dumb thing to say.
It was, man. It really was.
Listen, at the end of the day, if you're not fighting, you're not making money. So
exactly. Period.
John Jones says he's prepared to hold out 2 to 3 years until he gets the money he wants. All right, so
good riddance. Who cares?
Exactly.
He's not gonna be making money 2 to 3 years.
I'll see you later. And I mean, I wonder how many times between now and then he's gonna get arrested. So.
I think just to wrap this up real quick, I think it's an opportunity at first. And if you succeed at that opportunity, then it becomes a career.
Well, that's
what I think.
If you continue to have a level of success in anything in life, man, and you're making money with it, roll with it, man. That's a career, man.
Now, if he says that at the Ultimate Fighter, with the Ultimate Fighter, early days,
Ultimate Fighter is an opportunity,
or the Contender series.
But hold on now.
Getting into the UFC. Making it to the UFC and fighting in the UFC at first is an opportunity to turn it into a career.
Yeah.
But once you're on the level as, like you said, Donald Cerrone or these big guys, then it's a career.
I agree, but you could also have a career not being the UFC. I mean, if you're a professional fighter, I mean, the guys who on the Ultimate Fighter, the TV show, a lot of them, that was not their first fight. They were fighters before. That could have been their career, especially in their eyes before. That opportunity.
But this goes back to UFC and MMA are not the same thing.
Exactly.
MMA is the career. UFC is the opportunity.
Yeah.
And how many of those guys that, especially early on, went on the Ultimate Fighter, had other jobs to put them through training for MMA? And
obviously, I mean, how many minor leaguers have other jobs too, Gary?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's
Alaya Quinta, who's in the UFC. He's a real estate agent.
Look at Michelle.
No, you're right. Chael too. He had a lot of business ventures and stuff like that even before. But
there's a difference with that from when you're fighting and you're opening businesses. Now we're opening up a whole new can of worms here. When you have a job to get you to get you to the UFC, that's a different thing.
Listen, we just have to clarify what Dana White meant. Was he talking about UFC or was he talking about MMA?
Yeah.
I'm thinking the way it came off when I listened to it, I've seen it. It sounds like he's saying mixed martial arts in general.
I want to hear him follow up on it.
Yeah. We have to learn more. Get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod.
I would love to have him on the pod. But listen, next week the big card. We're gonna have a like always. We're gonna preview that card.
A heavy breakdown
on that. And then I think we're gonna have 3 cards in 8 days, which is gonna be crazy. So we're gonna have a lot of time talking about UFC, but UFC this month is not the only game in town.
Rhode Island's coming up.
What I want to talk about. Listen, we've been on a hard stance. Baseball. We've had our love-hate relationship, but it figures. The week we really don't pump content out, baseball steps up their game. And baseball came to an agreement actually today, July 1st. Teams are reporting to summer camp to go get ready for the season to start at their local facilities. It's just a great day. July 23rd is the opening game, Yankees and Nationals. July 24th is opening day with all the teams playing.
And Gary's birthday.
On my birthday, we will have a lot of content pumped that day.
Guys, listen, what's the over-under on all of us crying for the first Yankee game?
Oh, I don't know.
Crying
I don't know
right
about
now.
crying.
It'll be pretty emotional. Tears of joy
If we weren't helping Pete move, I was gonna cry when
they announced it.
they announced it, but I was too busy trying not to.
You're crying in tears if you were in pain.
No, tears of not trying to kill somebody that was helping us move. But it's a great day. Just any thoughts quickly before we get really into this?
Hallelujah. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't know. It doesn't feel real to me yet.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Doesn't feel real. It won't feel real until the night before, July 22nd.
Yeah.
It took far too long to get to this point.
It took too long. Listen, the season. I'm gonna say it now. I said it. No asterisks for the champion.
Yeah, but you can't ask for a better matchup to start the season. Garrett Cole versus Max Scherzer. Yankees versus the defending World Series champion Nationals.
Not to mention, it looks. Judge is going to be ready. I'm hearing.
Yeah. Everybody's ready.
All the Yankees are healthy except for Severino, who's not coming back till next season. But
all right, I love Sevy.
It's great.
It'll be fine.
Yankees needed
you know
this,
what?
I guess.
You know what? Yeah, and part of the reason why I think they did Yankees Nationals opening day, because that's what the World Series should have been last year if the Astros didn't cheat. If the Astros didn't cheat, it would have been Yankees Nationals, man.
Pretty much, yeah. You're right.
I think they should also do for the nightcap, Dodgers Astros, put them two against each other. McBellinger and Correa go at it.
And you know what? Gary, you said no asterisks.
No asterisks, no.
I'm sorry, Eddie. Gary, you said no asterisks next, and we mentioned that a couple episodes ago. And I was thinking about it. Big echo, Pete. Big echo. I was thinking about it. There definitely should not be an asterisk next to it because
Any of these sports.
When you think about it, it's all relevant to the time, and this is the time we're in, so it's relevant to this time. Yeah. So shout out to franchise Frankie Dorman. We have this argument all the time, talking about how the Yankees, they won 27 championships, but the ones that really matter are like their last two. But no, that's not true at all because it's relevant to the time. Back in, obviously baseball was very different back then.
I know.
Back then.
I have a lot to say about that. I think if you talk about the team like the Boston Celtics, when they won their early on championships, they're the guys who played in the NBA then are like the level of competition. The level of competition, the guys were like working at post office, and the tallest guy was, no offense to Brian, was Brian size. And Bill Russell, only guy he had to beat was Will Chamberlain.
It's all relevant to the time, man.
When the Yankees were pumping out World Series, you still talk about guys like Ted Williams, Bob Gibson, all those great Dodger teams, Jackie Robinson.
I mean, not to mention Yankees have had 5 World Series wins since 1996. No other team has had more than that since then.
And they won the 70s, won the 60s. They won every decade.
Exactly.
And the 80s, they had the most wins. In the 80s, they didn't win a World Series then. So
everything went downhill after 82, though, man. That was a pretty big-ass drought for
I just
that's why I say it's relevant to the time in every sport, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And so this is relevant to this time. This is what we're dealing with. These are the cards that were dealt. So if whoever wins, they win fair and square. I mean,
Gary, hold up.
Unless they're the Astros,
the Houston assholes,
the dead ball era, though.
You can't because then what about the steroid era? You can't do that. You can't. Then you're gonna take Yankees. The Yankees dominated the steroid era. If we're gonna call a spade, the team of the steroid era was the Yankees. And so
listen, back then they were all taking greenies anyway. I think they're like
that too. Thank God for you, Pete, man.
Right, Eddie. You know.
Yeah, the greenies, man.
I forgot what the medical term is for that, but basically it's like it's a stimulant that you take, and it's a performance-enhancing stimulant. Let's just put it that way.
Basically, in other terms, it was Balco before Balco.
Yeah, it's like speed. Everyone knows what speed is. That's what all the old-school baseball players are taking. So no matter what the era is, there's something that you could find to complain about.
Yeah. So later on in the pod, we're going to preview. And what we're going to do is I'm going to break it down. Before we get to the season, every week we're going to preview 2 divisions. So this week we're going to preview the West. Next week the Central, the following week the East. And then before the season starts, the podcast before the season starts, we're going to give our general predictions and breakdowns of the season. So that's what we're going to do. NBA, we can't really do that with the NBA since we're going to do that before the playoffs. We're just going to break down the playoffs in one pod. So we can't do because the season's 70 games in. This episode, after we're going to talk about the next couple of things, we're going to preview the AL and NL West. Speaking of the NBA, they released the schedule. I have some things to say about that. One of them being that I think that the better teams are going to use this as a preseason. Like the Lakers, they really don't have much to play for. These 8 games, they're going to use it as a preseason to get the guys going.
Who just signed J.R. Smith the other day, too.
Just signed J.R. Smith. So I think that like teams like the Lakers and Bucks will use that to get their guys in shape, not really care about the games. There is a conspiracy theory that the NBA rigged the schedule that the Pelicans have a stronger, easier schedule to get to the playoffs, which
I saw that too, Gary. It was a little question mark on that.
I am all in. I love Zion. I love Lonzo. I would love to see them in the playoffs go against LeBron in the first round. I think that's what the NBA needs.
I'm sure you do, Gary. Anyways, go ahead.
I would love to see that. There is a little COVID with all this because a lot of these guys are testing positive for COVID. Like Jokic, he tested positive, best player on the Nuggets. Half the Nets have COVID still.
Let's say 3/4 of the Nets, actually.
It's like getting the cold, man. Enough with this. Who cares?
But now they're not going to the bubble.
Guys are dying. Everyone's recovering.
But now half the Nets aren't going to be playing. Because
they got the sniffles. They'll be fine.
They're not going to be playing, so that's going to hurt the Nets' chances greatly at the playoffs.
And we're going to lose anyways, man. We mean hurt the chances, man. Come on.
Wait, doesn't Eddie want to say something about the Nets?
That's why I'm leading to.
There's a reason why the NBA planned their first non-televised game to be a net game, man. Like, it all makes sense now, man. Come on.
Elaborate, Eddie.
Elaborate, Eddie. Come on.
Elaborate how, man? Like, nobody wants to watch the Nets, period, man. Nobody. I'm sorry, man.
Well, tell that to Hector.
Well, Hector, that's a different story right there, man.
And he broke the fourth wall, Brian. Looked right into the camera.
broke right through that wall. Broken you, Hector.
But I just want to say something. And as a sports fan, I'm excited for it. The NBA schedule, there's going to be games starting from noon all through the day. Between that and baseball, all this time cooped up in our houses, we had nothing.
I'm a league style, Gary.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. So we're going to have sports on from the second we wake up, basketball and baseball.
Let's go.
It is going to be phenomenal.
I'm thinking we should have a couple of gentlemen get-togethers, have some watch some games, live streams.
There will definitely be gentlemen watch parties for all this. Opening day at Gary's Backyard Bar and Grill, July 24th, we will have one.
A lot of drinking involved that night.
A lot of drinking, guys. It's just gonna be great to wake up. Like right now, there'd be 5 games on to watch. I just gotta muscle through this. One sport that's gonna watch all this COVID go by and know what to do is the NFL. And there was big news today: Cam Newton signing with the Patriots.
Oh boy.
So my main thought on this is this makes the Patriots the 3rd best team in the AFC.
No, they
don't.
No,
stop.
Cam Newton.
Gary,
stand up for a second. Stand up,
Gary.
Gary.
Stand up and sit down.
I'll stand up.
Take a seat.
Sit down to that.
I am so sick of the hype, man. No, stop it, man. Yes, Patriots have a great defense. There's no doubt about that, man. They have they have a great front line as well. I understand that. But Cam has been on a downfall since his MVP season, and
Thank you.
Man.
He won 12 games a year and a half ago.
Gary, Cam hasn't been relevant
since he lost in the Super Bowl.
He's made it. All right, let me say something about this real quick.
Yeah, please. For Jets.
This is for Jets Nation, man. Cam Newton hasn't been relevant in years. He's made out of glass. And I can guarantee you the first game he goes 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he throws for 164 yards, all of the Patriots fans are going to boo him out of New England.
You're missing one thing on that stat line, Pete.
Go for it.
70 rushing yards. There you go, man.
I'll give him the 70 rushing yards, but he's going to have 162 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and New England is going to boo him out of the stadium. Just watch.
So I obviously I'm not the biggest football guy in the world, but I know enough. But I think it's going to be really fun to see how the Patriots do. Obviously, without Brady, I know Gronk is supposedly going to Tampa Bay too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we get to really see if it's the complete team, Belichick and Brady together, or if it's the brains of Belichick and that team, or if it's just the talent of Brady alone, to see really what the formula is, to be that great. We're going to see if, Brady wins another Super Bowl.
Brian, this is what makes it so great, though, man. Like, this is basically Bill versus Brady at this point.
Yeah,
man.
And I'm actually excited for that. I'm not even a big football fan, but I'm excited to see why were the Patriots so good. Is it the whole entire package? Is it the brains? Is it the talent?
That's what everyone's been trying to figure out for 20 years, Brian.
And now we're finally going to get to see.
Really?
But let me ask you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Are the Patriots playing the Bucks this year or no?
No.
Damn.
No.
That would have been funny, right?
I think Brady last year, if you look at the numbers, was a middle of the road quarterback. So Cam could play a little, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You take this team, Cam plays a little bit better than that. They could.
Gary, I hate Brady as much as the next guy does, but Cam is not on Brady's level. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely not. Brady's the GOAT, but Cam does things and they could be good.
Yeah, what is he going to do? He's going to try to rush to his left. He gets tackled once, and then he's on the injured list for.
Let's see what he does. But let's see what he does under the tutelage of Belichick.
Exactly, he has Belichick, the greatest coach.
It don't matter when he's made out of glass, Gary. The Patriots are still winning 6 games this year, 6-10. Book it.
What a coincidence! Belichick signs Cam after getting caught again for cheating, though, man. Like, you can't make this shit up anymore, man. Like, come on.
But Eddie, is Rob Gronkowski, is he still the 24/7 champ in WWE?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is, actually.
Gary, is that factual?
I think he had to give the belt up.
Oh.
All
Did
right.
he?
Anyway.
Back to sports.
Yeah.
What's entertainment?
Not sports entertainment. Back to sports. Yeah, Patriots 6-10. Book it. Let's move on to baseball, guys.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to start our division previews. We're going to start off with the AL and NL West right after this. All right, guys. Welcome back. Like we promised, we're going to start our baseball preview slowly but surely. This week, we're going to talk about the AL and NL West. So the first we're going to start off with the NL West. Now, that division is been dominated by the Dodgers. It's projected to be dominated by the Dodgers. But there's some good young players in that division that can take the next step in good young teams. But it's the Dodgers division. They got Mookie Betts. They have all these guys coming up like the Dodgers have this infinite amount of prospects. So I think they're going to wind up with the division. I do think the Padres are a sneaky team to look out for with Paddock, with Tatis Jr., with Machado. They have a good young core. I think they're a good team to look out for also.
That's a good point with the Padres, but I feel like this is the year before they truly break out.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think next year the Padres will be serious contenders, but we're right on the cusp of that.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like the 2014 Cubs, before the year they won the World Series.
Or like those Astro teams.
We don't talk about them. But, NL West, Dodgers going to run away with it. Not even close. The entire West division as a whole, the Dodgers are going to run away with it. They're just too good.
How many games won for the Dodgers?
Ooh.
Prediction.
How many games are in the season? 60?
I can see them in the mid-40s.
Definitely 40 and up.
Definitely. Yeah, I could see that because they're
40 and 20 or 42 and 18, something like that.
And shout out to Nolan Arenado, but that team is just going to be awful. So they're going to
they are. I got
Eddie?
Wild card, man.
What?
I'm curious, man. I got the Padres coming out as a wild card on that division, though.
We'll save that for when we do our playoff preview, but that's a little thing.
Sure. But like you said, the Dodgers are running away with that, man.
Yeah, the D-backs going to be decent too, but I'm not crazy about them like everybody else is. I think the Padres are going to be better than the Giants. I think they're just too old and they're just going to fade out.
Giants are in rebuilding phase right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Rockies, Giants, they're non-factors in the division, but the Dodgers are already the best team in the division, and they added one of the best players in baseball, Mookie Betts. Plus, I'm big on Julio Urias, their young star pitcher who's going to have a really good year this year.
And they got Lux coming up this year, so
full season of Gavin Lux, a full season of Will Smith.
Will Smith behind the plate, man.
They got also May in that rotation to throw in there. So they're just stacked. 1A and
To
1B.
mention Bellinger is still on the team. You know, Corey Seager.
They're arguably the best team in baseball, but yeah, the Dodgers. That's their division. We move on to the other West division, the AL West, which really don't want to talk about because the Astros have been running that division. But it's a little different this year with the Astros because of all the allegations that came out about them. What people forget about last year with the Astros is Oakland came right on their tail. Oakland was a game or two away from coming in there and stealing that division. So, I mean, the Astros lost Garrett Cole. I know they get Lance McCullers back this year, who I'm a fan of. But, I mean, and the Astros are not – I mean, there's a lot of pressure. They're going to get everybody's best this year. I mean, I know it's 60 games, but still, those teams in your division, you really did the brunt of the cheating against. So you're really going to – they're going to really be coming at them. So I don't know how
I think the AL West is probably probably the most interesting division in entire baseball. I mean –
Really? Wow.
You got to think of it, like Gary said, the A's were – right up the Astros the entire season last year. The A's are not a bad team, and they could give the Astros serious trouble. And I said during my power rankings last episode, 2 episodes ago, that, yeah, the Astros have a great lineup. That hasn't changed. They're going to hit the ball really well, but no one realizes how thin their rotation and their bullpen really is right now.
Yeah.
As Yankee fans, last year in the playoffs, we wanted to get to that bullpen.
Their bullpen is it's terrible right now. And not to mention they lost Garrett Cole. Justin Verlander is a year older. He hasn't looked the same. I mean, who's their ace right now? What's his name? Greinke? Greinke's their ace?
It's Verlander and Greinke.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're so thin in the pitching department that the A's have great pitching, so they're going to give the Astros fits.
That's the thing about Oakland.
Yeah, not to mention the freaking Angels, man. They got Anthony Rendon. I know Gary loves Trout. You add Rendon to that lineup. You add Ohtani to that lineup. The Angels are going to be sneaky.
The best player ever, Mike Trout.
Oh, stop it!
What
a man
did Gary just say?
Man. Unbelievable, man.
Joe,
I can't
Joe.
that.
I'm about to leave.
I would have picked the Angels as a dark horse to win that division, but I don't like the 60 games for that. Like, they could. Honestly, anybody can win any division. The Angels can get hot, but I'm not crazy about the Angels right now to win that division. I think next year would be like the year for them to possibly win it. But I'm going to give the Astros a slight edge to win the division just because it's just the 60 games and the older pitchers aren't going to have the wear and tear on them. I think the Astros are going to steal the division. They're my pick to win the division.
I don't know. I got the opposite as far as the Astros go. I got them struggling out the gate for at least the first 20 games, though.
Well, listen, you struggle the first 20 games.
That's a third of the season.
Yeah, this season, that's it.
Yeah, but I could see 2 of the wild card spots coming out of the West.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the most interesting division in baseball. Any 3 of those teams could win the division: the Astros, the Angels, or the A's.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun division, but I'm going to slightly give it to the Astros. But the wild card, I'm going to think about that when we do our big preview.
Just say it, Gary. You got the Seattle Mariners coming out. That's a fucking wild card, man.
Seattle's the only team that's not interesting in that division. Even the Rangers are interesting. But
yeah, they're moving into a new ballpark this year.
Especially with the new ballpark, man. They finally have air conditioning. It's what they wanted, man. So.
Listen, it gets hot in Texas, man. It gets hot out down there.
Oh, we know.
It gets hot. So, but yeah, so that's our we did. So that's the West. Next week we're gonna hit the Central out. But coming up next, Brian, what's coming? Something's coming in the air next.
Core 4.
Core 4 coming up next.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gentleman Podcast. And it's about that time. It's time for the Core 4. Pete is going to bring us into this week's Core 4. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be definitely entertaining, and it's definitely different. So, Pete, without further ado.
Eddie, do the deal, bro.
Well,
the deal now.
Once again, we're going to use the new updated format of the Core 4. And this week's topic is, if you were to put together a rap group, because you're going to battle. You're going to a rap battle. Who would the 4 rappers be that you choose to be in your group?
Dylan, man.
Making the band, baby.
So before we get to that, before we see what our choices are, we're going to randomize the order.
Oh, my favorite part of the week.
And
This
now,
is the worst part, man.
having first pick is very, very, very big now.
What are we going to do when we do the core 4 together and we have to randomize it? Eddie's going to still get the second pick.
We'll draw
Pick me out of a
straws.
hat.
Actually,
right.
that's a bad idea. That's not a bad idea, Brian.
So we got me first,
Whoa.
Eddie second,
Medium.
Brian
meat.
third,
This
and
has to
this?
spell
Gary
vitamin
last.
like that, man. Come
Medium
on,
peach.
man. Vitamin E. Put that on a T, man.
Wait, you didn't randomize it.
Underdog, put that
Oh,
on
that
a
was the
t-shirt.
order.
yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. Damn.
If you don't believe me, I'll go back and show you.
No. I believe you. No, for some
Nah.
reason I thought it was.
I clicked it real quick as soon as I pulled it up.
All right. So I'm third. Oof.
So yeah, Brian is third. Eddie is second, of course. Eddie's always second.
This is gonna blow up in my face. I might as well just go for funny for this one.
All right, so now let's reveal our choices. Everyone can see it?
Joke, man. What is this? My man.
Thank God they're all rappers I know, because I don't.
Oh,
listen to
I didn't even know Jaquan was in this list.
Eddie's at half mast.
So what colors does everybody want?
I'll take purple again, please.
I'll take green. I'll take green.
I'll take orange to represent the Suns and Charles Barkley.
That's a representative.
Orange,
Oh, that's Barkley. I didn't even know that was Barkley.
Yeah,
That's a nice shirt. That's a nice shirt.
green.
Mm.
Gary's trying to show off the traps.
I still can't believe you got Eminem 3 times in this, man. Oh.
Well,
Well, I mean, he
are
did
so
go through a
different.
lot of phases.
They're so different.
All right, so I got
Hey,
first pick here. Oh my God.
There's strategy in that because you don't want to have 3 M&Ms because
I don't
true.
want any Eminem except classic. The new Eminem, he kind of looks like a black guy who bleached his skin. He looks like, like when Sammy Sosa bleached his skin. It just doesn't look right.
Right, coming in hot with the takes today.
Well, not for nothing, but there is a theory about present day Eminem saying that he's not the real Eminem.
He's a
It's probably
clone.
not.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for the conspiracy podcast that we're going to have coming up.
The gentleman's theories.
The gentleman's theories. All right, first pick here. Man, there's so many legends on this list. I could pick
Yeah.
anybody and have a good pick right now, but since the topic is, rappers you want to bring with you to a rap battle, there's no rapper better than battling than classic Eminem.
I knew this was gonna happen eventually. Come on, man.
So with my first pick, I'm picking
Give a-
classic Eminem. That's Eminem from 1999 to 2003. Eminem.
Right up until when I'm gone.
Yeah, just about 04-ish. Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick at all.
So Eddie, you are green, and now you're on the clock.
I'm gonna address the elephant in the room with this one.
Big pun?
No, motherfucker, come
Oh,
on.
not Ja
man.
Rule?
No,
I'm
man.
going with him.
So you're going big pun. You said elephant.
I am sick of these assumptions by you at this point, man. This is ridiculous. No, there won't be no rule. I'm gonna go with Big Pun with my first pick.
Oh, okay.
That's
The
solid,
pride
bro.
of Puerto Rico, the pride of Soundview. Shout out to the Bronx on that one. Gone too soon. Oh, man, he would have been up there as a top 5 on anybody's list if he was still alive at this point, man.
You're right. Big Pun is a legend, gone way too soon.
Mm.
All right. So this is definitely going to shock you guys.
Mm.
Definitely going to shock you guys. So now, listen, if we're going into a rap battle, right? Obviously, it helps if you have a good flow, you got bars, this and that, but you need someone who's smart to come up with really interesting and funny things. Yeah, Pete, you got it. I'm going with 2 Chainz, who has a degree in psychology. He's a very smart man.
Bro, he's very educated, my
Once you said smart, I knew you were going 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz.
Oh,
Well, Brian officially lost his core 4. I guess it should be Gary and Eddie now.
I told you I was going for funny.
Oh man, 2
All
chains.
right. Mr. Orange.
Oh man.
You got 2 picks here. How do you want to play this? Think about it. Think about it.
You know, there's a part of me that was gonna go fat up in that, but I'm not doing that.
Do it.
So,
Do Fat M and Shingy.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna go with Big L with my first pick.
Oh, good pick.
Another one
Good
gone
pick,
way too
man. Good
soon.
pick.
Way
Classic.
too soon. His
Classic.
flow, the way he put rhymes together. Big L, very underrated. I still think that people really don't give Big L the props he deserves.
You're right, and he was a great freestyler too.
Yep.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
And another great storyteller I'm gonna go Tupac.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
take Tupac. You know?
Ill.
Tupac.
I'm not a Pac fan. I gotta be honest.
Tupac, you listen to his rhymes and the way when he really put his heart into something, he really had the rhymes and went at it and was passionate about it. So I'm going Big L and Tupac. It hurts not taking my all-time favorite Eminem, but I gotta be smart with this.
Well, Gary, classic Eminem is gone. So, which Eminem would you have taken?
I think new Eminem, Fat Eminem is really
Kind of depressing.
You know, you guys used to bash me over Fat Eminem all these years, and now nobody is gonna take him, man.
Cause you go, whoa, Fat Eminem is still better than Daddy Yankee.
Yeah. Which,
Justice
by the way,
Suarez, you need to come on the podcast once and for all, man.
No.
This is debatable, man.
He's too critical. Anyways, so I'm actually surprised.
It's good to have a critic.
I'm very surprised this guy's still here. I'm going.
So
with
am I.
my favorite. I'm going with Biggie.
I know.
Fuck. Damn it.
In my
I
opinion,
don't know how he dropped.
he's the GOAT. In my opinion, I'm sorry. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's always arguable.
Another one gone too soon.
Yeah, seriously. 24 years old. Unbelievable, man.
That's crazy. Can you imagine if guys like Biggie and
Big
Big
L,
L, Big
all the
Pun.
bigs.
still
Big
around
M.
making music?
The last four picks. Think if they were still around.
Yeah.
Big Eminem. Big M.
Unfreaking believable, man.
I wonder what Biggie's music would sound like today.
It wouldn't
You
be
know
this
what?
mumble crap.
I pray to God if that was the case, man.
I don't think this kind of rap would even be around if guys
True.
like Biggie, Pac, Big L were still around. I don't think it would even
True.
exist.
No,
that's a very valid.
wordplay and lyricism would still be the main thing you listen to.
Yeah.
And that's what all these guys are great at, you know. And that's where you go with. That's where you go into a battle rap. You don't go into a battle rap with. You go in there with wordplay and stuff.
Yeah.
You're right, though. And keep it on the subject of wordplay, flow, style, swag, storytelling.
Kanye.
I'm going to go with Big Pun's
Can't go Big Pun twice.
right-hand man on this one. Well, not right hand, but, these two were actually pretty close. I'm going to go with Nas for my second.
That was a great pick.
He was hiding up there. I hope no one saw him.
He was my next pick.
Nas was up there. I almost took Nas.
It's debatable between Reasonable Doubt and Illmatic.
Illmatic is the greatest.
I think Illmatic just legitimately might be the greatest hip hop album of all time.
There's not one bad track on the entire
Listen,
album.
thank you, Brian. Like, I know it's 10 tracks, but there is no such thing as skipping any track on that album.
I'd rather
That's
10
a complete
tracks
playthrough.
10 tracks you could play through than 17 tracks you have to skip after them.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's true though.
Oh wow! So
Damn it.
I got 2 picks here, and a lot of the top rappers have already been taken off the board. So this is tough.
I'm gonna
What
have
do you
to
mean?
I'm gonna have to
Nick
race.
Cannon is still there, man.
Man, this
Well,
is
you're not
tough,
allowed
bro.
to. Hold on, it's a rule. You're not allowed to have Nick Cannon and any kind of Eminem on the same team because they're just gonna fight the entire time.
Well, I wasn't gonna pick him anyway. So.
I'm just saying, whoever goes with Fat M and New M.
Oh man, this is tough. This is tough.
I know where you're going with this one.
I know where I'm going next if he's still there, but he's not gonna be.
You know what? All right.
Wait, hold on. Before you say your pick, just for the record, why did you put like a mugshot esque for Kanye West over here, man?
That looks like his LinkedIn profile picture or something.
Kanye's about to apply for a job at Citibank right now.
Now that you mention it, Eddie, Kanye is
God
my
damn it.
first pick.
Oh, damn it, man.
Damn it, Eddie.
I was going with him regardless.
Shit.
Kanye has made some of my favorite hip-hop tracks of all time. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a flawless album, one of the best albums ever.
I like Graduation.
Capital letters. I
like Graduation. That's my favorite Kanye album.
Well, I mean, his first 4 albums were all freaking amazing albums, but he's kind of gone downhill since then.
Oh,
but,
yeah. After Watch the Throne or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Watch the Throne was great. I don't know.
No, it was. People don't talk about it.
After that, he went downhill.
That was the last good music he put out.
There's nothing wrong with Yeezus, man. Come on.
No,
man.
I hate that album.
No.
Stop it, man.
Jesus is very.
No.
Come on. It aged well.
What you say?
It did not age well.
Kanye is a genius, bud. You gotta say that. Kanye is a genius.
He is a genius. He is a genius.
He just signed with Gap.
Smart move. He's gonna make tons
and he's
of money
about to
off
be a multi-billionaire after this.
Kanye's playing chess while everybody's playing checkers.
And just for the record,
he's playing
became a billionaire much quicker than Jay-Z.
Get him, Eddie. Get at him. Eddie, your relationship with
Jay-Z. There goes Pete's next pick.
Your relationship. Wait, can we talk about this real quick? Eddie's relationship with Jay-Z is so weird because Eddie loves Jay-Z, but he rips him more than anybody I know. So.
The love-hate.
It has its days, man. It has its days. It has its days.
God, pick. Man. Eddie, you done?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with classic Eminem's right-hand man, and that's 50 Cent.
It's a great pick.
You know what? Having classic M and 50 Cent on the same team along with Kanye West, I mean, that's just you have 3 hit makers right there. You can't beat that.
You're right.
50 Cent is ruthless. You get to 50 Cent in a beef, he's ruthless.
Yeah, 50 Cent is ruthless. As you know, someone got murdered on this list, Ja Rule. But 50 Cent was also a great battle rapper too when he was younger. His early stuff before he got signed was freaking amazing. So that's my pick. Eddie, you're on the clock.
Oh boy.
All right.
Oh boy.
Since you want to go with 50, I'm going to address the other elephant in the room for this one. Let's go, Ja. Come over. Man.
Really?
Come to the good side, man.
I know it.
Listen, never mind the antics of the complete. Listen, all right. They killed his career. Don't get me wrong, man. But he's put out some classics, man. And nobody ever seems to want to talk about it. Veni Vidi Vici was a great first album. It's one of the better debut albums in recent memory, at least in the past 25 years, as far as hip hop.
I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to Eddie trying to justify picking Ja Rule.
What?
With his third pick.
It's completely justifiable, man. Come on. Listen.
Third pick.
When you got guys like Ja Rule, Jay-Z, Ludacris, Eminem still on the table.
And you pick Ja Rule. You know
what?
Eddie,
it's your third pick, but by your logic, you go reverse. That's your number 2 pick.
What?
Yeah. That is your number 2 pick.
It's still a great 3 that I have, man.
You can't face Pete's team because Pete's team has 2 guys that murdered his career, so you're never going to beat Pete.
Yeah. Classic M and 50 Cent against Ja Rule. Come on, bro.
Fat Eminem.
No.
Fat Eminem killed Ja Rule.
Stop it. Oh, shit. All right. You
win.
Fat Eminem killed Ja Rule. It wasn't even classic.
Hold on. Wait. Can I call a mulligan on this?
No. There's no mulligans on the core 4.
You're out.
Oh, damn.
That's the one rule of the core 4, and everyone knows that one rule. There's no mulligans.
One bite, everyone knows the rules.
One pick, everyone knows the rules. No mulligans.
All right.
It's all good, Ja. You on the right side, man.
Well, you would think Eddie made it easy for me, but he actually made it hard for me.
Yeah.
Made it easy for me. I might have won because of that.
And I know you guys, I know everyone thinks I'm going Chingy, but I'm not. You know what? Even though there are times that I don't like him or I don't like what he put out, I'm going with new Eminem. And I say that because Recovery is actually one of my favorite albums from him, if not my number 1 album. I remember this, like the summer that album came out, like every song on there was absolutely incredible. A lot of good memories. So I'm going with new M.
That's a great pick, Brian. I'm surprised he dropped this slow.
Yeah.
Surprised you dropped that low.
So my next 2 picks are going to be critical because if I make the right next 2 picks, you guys are all screwed for the rest of your
Soldier Boy Nick Cannon.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
So
Stop.
I'm going to go with, I don't think he is, but people call him the GOAT. And Eddie, I'm surprised you took Ja Rule up there. I'm going with Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know
But
it.
You could take him. You could take him, man.
But you go old school Jay-Z. Old school Jay-Z's up there with anybody. And even today, Jay-Z, the songs he puts out. I'm not a crazy Jay-Z fan, but Jay-Z, Tupac, Big L, lyricism right there. I'm ready to rock. Now we get
3 solid picks, Gary.
yeah.
Listen,
I'm getting,
Illmatic over Reasonable Doubt any day.
okay, but Reasonable Doubt, the blueprint, we're going classic. Jay-Z can go up there hit to hit with anybody. I think Nas beat him in their beef, but Jay-Z was right there.
Yeah,
Now,
what
Empire
did,
State of Mind.
that was a good one. It was a good one.
The theme of the 2009 Yankees championship.
That's right. Yeah. And that's also the theme song for me getting kicked out of high school also, man. That damn, oh, man.
as much as I want to take Fat Eminem, as much as I really do, I gotta play it smart. No, I don't want to take Jake Quad.
How is that smart, man? Come on, man.
I'm going with somebody that's underrated. I'm going with Ludacris. As my 4th pick,
All
Ludacris.
right.
Fuck. Damn it, man. I got no choice.
Ludacris and Nelly had that hit-to-hit versus thing, and Ludacris put out some good classic tracks. And I'm going Luda.
Gary, that's a solid 4.
I like my 4. I like my 4, especially knowing what's coming after what 4 after me.
Yeah, I mean,
having the 4th pick, honestly, with this group is actually a big thing.
You're right.
I guess I'm gonna have a tag team of M&Ms. I gotta go Fat M&M. I'm not picking anyone else on this list. I mean, I know technically Fat Eminem only had 1 album, but
damn.
Yeah.
Well, he had Encore and he had the hits. What, Curtain Call?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Curtain Call, that doesn't. I don't really qualify that.
Well, he had FAC. He had FAC on it.
Let's not.
I can't believe that was actually a song, man. FAC. Come on, man. Terrible.
Yeah, I gotta go with Fat Eminem on this one.
Oh man, damn, Eddie, me and you are screwed right now, Eddie.
I wouldn't necessarily call this screwed right now, man.
I would. You have Ja Rule on your team, and look who's left.
All right. It's my turn, right?
Yep.
Eddie, you better.
Think about this, Eddie.
We got a couple legends up in here, man. You know what?
I mean, pick your poison, bro. Pick your poison.
I'm going to pick my poison right now. You know what? All right. I'm going to go with it. I got Nick Cannon as my fucking I got Nick Cannon. Listen, he does his thing on Wild 'N Out. He does what he does.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
He's got something in common with Eminem. I mean, they both fuck Mariah Carey anyway. Let's be honest on that. I know it's a PG show, man, but that's the elephant in the room with that one.
All right, so Eddie's team consists of Nas and Big Pun.
Yeah.
It's pretty even, though, man. It's pretty even, though.
And you have Nick Cannon and Ja Rule on your team.
Listen, well, Ja Rule provides the comic relief for the.
Why is Nick Cannon there then?
Because he banged Mariah Carey.
Listen, every good squad needs a manager.
I want to see it. Oh wait, I want to see a tag team match. Brian has you and Eminem and Fat Eminem versus Nick Cannon and Ja Rule.
3 stages of hell. That has to be the stipulation, man.
3 stages of FAC.
Well,
Pete, you're screwed, buddy.
I am screwed. I'm screwed.
So
there's I'm definitely not picking Soulja Boy because I hate him. And I hated that song in high school, the Soulja Boy song.
What you mean?
Crank that, Soulja Boy.
It's her picture of Eddie doing the Soulja Boy there.
Yeah, and Bishop Ford. I can still picture Eddie doing it in Prospect Park.
I swear to God, you better not put that picture up right now, man.
Insert now.
All right, so Soulja Boy's out. Chingy only had 1 song, Right There, and after that he fell off the face of the earth.
Chingy had 2 solid albums. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go with
admitted that.
I'm gonna go with the guaranteed hit maker, Jaquan, bro.
Guaranteed
Hitmaker.
You know what? His album Hood Hop,
Great album.
is a top 600 album of all time.
Top 600.
You know what? I think I would have just kept the 3-man team on that one.
Nah, it's the core 4, it's not the core 3, man.
Oh my God, man. Jaquan.
So
Oh.
my team is classic Eminem, Kanye West, 50 Cent, and the legend Jaquan.
Good legend, Jay. Not even his own mother says that about him, man. Come on, man.
The hitmaker Jaquan.
The hitmaker Jaquan. Yo, Hood Hop, Some Cut. These are all classic songs, man.
Oh, I completely forgot about Some Cut, man. Oh my God.
All right. I got Big L, Tupac, Jay-Z, and Ludacris. I think I got the team to beat. I think I got the favorite.
You know what, Gary? Having the 4th pick was probably the best spot to be in this draft.
Exactly, especially when Ja Rule went in the 3rd round. Everything just fell to me perfectly.
Oh, you guys are hating. That's all it is.
Man, listen, I have the psychological murderer, 2 Chainz. I got 2 Chainz, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Biggie Smalls. And never before in history has it been done. 2 Eminems on the same team. I mean, this is incredible. I'm hyped with my team.
You know, we all have solid teams, except for
wait. Now, Eddie, tell your team. But I have a theory with Brian's team that might bring him down.
Go ahead, Eddie. Let's hear your team.
I got the great Big Pun over here as my number 1 pick. Number 2, you can't go wrong with Nas. You just can't, man.
The roller coaster's at the top. Let's go. Keep it going.
Shout out to Queensbridge for Nas. And for my number 3 pick, I got the great Ja Rule on this one, man. And as for my number 4th pick, none other than Nick Cannon. Yes. Nick Cannon.
The roller coaster just exploded. You have a
Oh, stop it. This is a solid 4 right here, man.
My theory with Brian's team is Fat Eminem is going to try to influence New Eminem to become fat with him and do drugs again.
Relapse.
So you're going to have to worry about that.
You know what, Gary? That's a great point. And Brian, you should be very, very worried.
No, because I have a psychologist on my team in 2 Chainz, and he's going to bring everything back together.
There you go.
Oh, come on. You didn't plan that shit out, man. Stop it.
He planned it out this whole time.
Oh,
just when you thought you had all the answers, I changed the questions.
Oh, my God, man. That's ridiculous.
That was a great core 4.
That was a great core 4. Tell us what you think. Brian, I think you should make a little thing and put this on the Instagram page and see what people think about this.
I think I should. I'm going to ask. I want to see what people are thinking. Who would they pick?
I mean, I think if we're doing betting odds, I think I'm the favorite. But listen.
Whoa! I had classic Eminem, Gary. Come on.
Okay, but look, you finish it off with Jaquan.
All right. I mean, I'm a little top heavy with Eminem and Kanye and 50, and then it drops off with Jaquan.
That's what I'm saying. I think I'm a little bit ahead of you because of that 4th pick. But let us know what you guys think. Comment it. Just let us know what you guys think. The way things are looking, this is the only 1 pod we're gonna put out this week. Next week we're gonna go back to 2 pods a week. But we're gonna have we're still gonna pump out some other stuff that we have in the can that we didn't put out this week. So you can get some content from us. Before we go, anybody have anything else to say?
I do. Ashanti is smiling because of my pick right now, man.
You know what? Ja Rule wouldn't be relevant without Ashanti's help in all of his songs.
I agree.
Ja Rule's doing good. Ja Rule's performing at Quarantine P16s right now. So.
Bro, he's doing commercials for restaurants.
All right, enough.
He's actually doing the commercial for the Gary Backyard birthday there.
Yeah, you could probably get him to perform on the 24th.
I probably could.
What?
Come on.
I'm gonna work on that.
Costs like $500. He probably costs.
Honestly, if he costs that, I'll put some money down. I'll do it.
I'm gonna inquire as soon as we get off.
That will be my birthday gift to Eddie.
Oh my God,
if you
that'd be
do that, greatest birthday bash of all time.
But thank you guys for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe on all our social media platforms. Comment, share everything you could. Sports is coming back. More content from us is coming. July 1st. July is going to be the big month for sports. That's why I wanted to put this episode out today on July 1st. But like always, Remember, we are the gentlemen.
This is the
And this is
podcast.
podcast.
So Eddie, Ja Rule was your number 2 pick if you really go through this, because with the way you do your verse was. So you think Ja Rule was number 2 on that list?
Unbelievable.
Anyway.
And that means Nick Cannon was number 1. Even worse.
Come on, man. Oh, man.
Eddie didn't do the reverse thing.
I didn't do the reverse thing today, man.
Eddie's new middle name is Mulligan. Eddie Mulligan Roldan.
That'll be his name on the randomizer next week.
Come on, man.
Unless you want to keep vitamin E. You want to keep
I like
it?
vitamin E. You know what? I might actually make that my Twitter name, actually, man. I think so, man.
Oh, man. Peace out later.
Later, guys.
Yo, from the start, I'ma finish it. Yo, and from the start, I'ma finish it. Cause I'm a running man on a mission. From the start, I'ma